Okay. Showtime. Oh, fuck. I guess I don't have reverse mode. Front facing camera. I got a front facing camera. This shit happened. This shit. Okay. Sorry, guys. You gotta go to the front. Okay. Let's see. All right. Live Saturday night. Here we go, people. What the hell is it? It's late April. I guess Saturday Night Live probably does have a new episode tonight. Uh, how's everybody doing? Happy, yeah, so what the hell is new? What the hell do we want to talk about? It's Saturday night. Oh my God, there's so much, because I've been doing more personal things the last couple days. I haven't had my eye on the geopolitical. I mean, sure, is there even a reason? I'm sure I'll figure out something to talk about as I go along. Oh my God. Okay, I've got this toothpaste in my sweat. Well, okay, I guess I'm kind of nervous because my mom just followed my YouTube page. I talked to my mom on the phone today for like 4.5 hours. It was awesome to talk to her. She's a hero. She's an amazing lady, and she really fights hard and works hard. And she's smart. She's good at her job. So it was nice to touch base and just, I mean, it's been a long time, and I feel bad. And it just, my life has been insane. And I don't know, you just get trapped. And in any case, what was I saying? Um, Vaping. I was vaping. What was I gonna say about talking to my mom? Oh yes, my YouTube page. My mom asked specifically for my YouTube page. She said she wanted to see some of my content. So, oh god, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what the hell. I mean, there's a lot of content. There's an ocean of scenes from a life content. And so I don't know. I you can't possibly manage all of it, you know. So I hope she sees some good stuff and she checks out my content. But uh, new viewer. Hopefully she subscribes. Hopefully she subscribes. And well, we were talking about On Cinema because I've been watching it a little bit recently, and Tim Heidecker just got named head of Infowars. I don't know if people saw this. The Onion bought Infowars, which was kind of a big story, I don't know, a year ago or something. And because, Alex Jones got sued and blah, blah, blah. So the Onion owns like the brand and all the intellectual property, I guess, of Infowars. The Alex Jones conspiracy, or I don't know, podcast. Is that what would you call that? Media empire? Amazing. What a country. We're just like, the Onion, a satirical newspaper, can buy your entire, you know, uh, streaming library or whatever. Who will buy scenes from a life? And so, anyway, they just named Tim Heidecker like the artistic director of Infowars, which I actually think is like an incredibly brilliant choice, actually, because Tim Heidecker really is keyed into that side of culture, that type of mindset, and Rio Genesis. It's amazing how many of these shows are just like medicine shows. They're all hawking some kind of like crazy fucking like like you know protein powder, all this kind of quack science, medical, pills like Rogan. There's always some kind of fucking like, oh, he's doing stem cell, or there's always some kind of like biohack, and they're sponsored. It's just so weird that part of, you guys should feel lucky because every other fucking podcast, like, they'll just be going along and all of a sudden they'll be like, hey, have you ever, do you need to buy stamps? Or hey, have you ever, like Bill Maher, it's like he's smoking weed with Woody Harrelson 1 second, and all of a sudden he's talking about some fucking like uh He's just shilling. He's shilling for some kind of product, like it's like fucking infomercial, like he's Hank Kingsley. They put the ads back on the show. I think that's an interesting. It's almost like old radio or early television where it's like they do their own ads. Bill Maher does his own ads. Tim fucking Dillon does his own. I'd love to have sponsorship. Somebody sponsor me. I'd love to just put an ad right in the middle of this for some kind of like quack fucking steroid or protein powder. I don't even know what the hell it is. I don't look at any of that stuff. Tim Heidecker, right on cinema, they had Rio Genesis, Dr. Sand. So my mom had like actually seen a lot of the newer fucking on cinema shit. And I'm like, where does she see it? Because it's like behind the paywall. It's not really on YouTube that much. I think she watched on YouTube Shorts. I just had a YouTube short pop up about like on cinema. I'm like, maybe they just like chopped the whole show and put it into fucking YouTube shorts or something. I should probably be clip farming, honestly. My time would probably be better spent clip farming. Oh boy, I just broke the tripod. I just broke my goddamn monopod again. Well, this piece of shit, fans of the stream will know that I keep buying these goddamn Five Below monopods, and they're just total garbage. Look at this. It won't even stand up now. I mean, well, there it goes. Back to the wine bottle. Fuck. Now what am I gonna do? I have no way to. I'll have to hold the thing the whole time. Shit. Okay, well, it's Saturday night. It's raining and it's cold outside. I mean, I guess if I should probably go out and like, maybe I will. This is my pregame. Pre-gaming Saturday night with MP. And I'm excited, for the show Monday. That'll be fun. And I'm starting to like kind of like reheat my social life. I'm starting to get out there a little bit more and kind of like rekindle friendships. I get invited to read at this Howl fucking they're gonna read Howl in Washington Square Park on May 4th, I think. And so Ingrid Jacobson, shout out, invited me to do that. And so I'm just kind of trying to get back out there. I got a gig on Friday at a pool hall in Bay Ridge. I guess that's my kind of place. I do not have a guitar here. And I'd love to. I keep thinking about, God damn it, I wish I had a guitar. This would be like the perfect time to write songs. I kind of want to write songs because all these people that come to the open mic, like Kimbo Slice, she writes a song every week, and like she'll write it the day of, and it's always like it's always like the lyrics are good, they rhyme, it's pretty fleshed out. I'm like, and you just bring the paper with you to the mic. It's a good way to just get a song kind of into reality out of your room, out of trying to piece it together in your notebook and shit and like getting it. uh this is the how-to tips for the pros. So I've been inspired. Maybe I don't need a guitar. Well, I guess I could probably find something like an app or something that does some kind of like sound. Maybe that's what I'll play. I don't know what I'm gonna do at this pool hall. Like I said, I don't have a fucking guitar. These shows, I think he books kind of a roster of people, so maybe somebody will let me borrow a guitar. I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna get to Bay Ridge from here. It's probably gonna be. I guess I could go to Atlantic or something maybe, and then the R train out from there. But uh, Friday night, baby, woo wee, the pool hall. We'll see, I guess. So yeah, I'm just okay. Maybe this will work. Maybe this I can put my fucking. I was just watching this fucking video of Professor Zhang. Um, Surprise, surprise, I'm obsessed. It's like all I watch. He's my buddy. He's my friend. I guess my brother's in Japan. My mom told me my brother is in Japan right now, so good for him. He's visiting our friend John Ryan, lives there. Um, Pretty cool. What was I saying? I'm all over the place. I'm talking about InfoWars and oh, pool hall. I don't have a guitar. I need a guitar. I need an app. I need a da 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 da. Um, what the hell was I saying? My brother's in Japan. Well, okay. Well, anyway, we'll figure it out. Um, yeah. Do you believe I don't have anybody watching? It's insane, right? How do I not have more likes? My new vlog premiered. I mean, I mean, granted, I did have it on. Like, I did watch it. I at least watched. I think I watched about half of it. I watched. It's 4 hours and 12 minutes long. It's the fucking. It's an epic. It's longer than like just about any movie ever made. And that, if nothing else, is distinction. And so, I watched about half of it. Myself, but I think the real metric on YouTube is the watch time. It's not necessarily the number of clicks, it's more like how long do they watch. And so, generally speaking, the most watch time that I get is from these. This is more people watch more of these than my vlogs or the open mic, let's say. The open mic like might get, 80 or 100 clicks, but like it only get like 7 or 8 hours of view time. So it's like people click it, they might watch a few minutes or something then click off. It's not like they're necessarily sitting there. There's not a bunch of people sitting there watching the whole damn thing. Whereas this, there's at least 3 or 4 or 5 psychos out there who just kidding, just kidding. People who are early adopters, let's just say. Early here they're in on the ground floor. Well, so I was watching this video of Zhang from this video popped up. It's him in June 2024 talking about and it's crazy how accurate. He's got to be a plant or something. Zhang has got to be like he's got to be intelligence because he literally just like this video was posted June of 2024. He says Trump will win the election. He says they'll invade Iran. He says there will be a fucking second civil war. All this shit that like pretty much came to pass. Actually, he was pretty on the money about a lot of things. It was kind of considering it was posted June 2024 when he's already talking about Trump's going to run for a third term in 2028 and all this. He said a lot of these crimes are committed by former special forces. A lot of and so he said that, high end military special forces, people in the deep state, he's going to win them over with the war in Iran. He's going to invade Iran, and that's going to win over like the deep state people, the Zionists, and, the neocon, whatever. And then these special forces are going to do some kind of terrorist false flags to make sure that he wins the election in 28 or whatever, 26, 28. And so it was pretty nuts to see Zhang. That was 2 years ago practically. And, he was already talking with definite precision about not just that Trump would win the election. This was before Biden had even freaking dropped out or, before the debate or anything, before the assassination attempt, before YMCA, before McDonald's, all of the iconic signs of the apocalypse that the American people willfully ignored. So, yeah, I don't know if my mom is going to watch this. I hope she checks it out. It's just like talking on the phone. I'll probably rehash a lot of it. We talked about Epstein. We talked about everything. I mean, She was telling me, I guess I can say this on the internet. An anonymous source was telling me they had a gay friend that they worked with in the 80s who said they went to a Les Wexner party and they said it was like, what did she say? A Roman uh I don't think she used the word orgy. It was like, but like it said, the way she described it was like it sounded like those scenes in JFK. The scenes of JFK with they're all like painted gold and like the one guy's dressed like Hermes or some shit. And Joe Pesci's there with his wig and shit. That's what I imagine like the island and the Epstein parties and that's like the real, that's what they actually are. Where can I put this thing? Let me get my fucking, hold on. Got my rain balcony here. Yeah, it's just cold and shitty. It's late April. So it's like it was nice on Thursday, but it's like, it's supposed to be like kind of like 50s for the next week or something and rainy and let me just put this here for a second while I do this. This will be a nice kind of this is live cinema here, people. Live cinema. I like doing the stream at this time of day because you get the sunset. I want to track. My blog had a nice time lapse. Did people notice the time lapse? But anyway, my blog actually got like 32 hours of watch time, which I mean, it's 4 hours long. That means like 8 people watch the entire thing, or 32 people watch an hour of it. You don't necessarily need to watch the whole thing. You kind of, if you watch any one of my blogs, you've seen one, you've seen them all kind of. There are subtle differences. And the content is what changes. What we're talking about, what's going on, the venues, something, the bands, whatever, the music changes. I mean, I'd like to rehearse a little bit for Friday music. I'd like to play, I'd like to at least get my hands on a guitar for like a couple hours or something. I haven't, really played it. Well, Ashley had that guitar. She had that Fender. But, I was playing with the Vivian Crayon thing, but then that kind of imploded. Like these things often do. These bands. These fucking bands. I was thinking, like, what if we did a feature at the theater downstairs? The thing about that theater downstairs, for whatever reason, just like it doesn't well, it's behind this big door. So it's like they close this big door. It's like there's no indication there's even anything going on. It's kind of like this discreet. I mean, it's called the freaking private curtain. And should I turn the light on? I don't know. How's this look? It's gray. It's blue. It's grainy. Looks like crap. I mean, good God, the audio quality of these live streams is so bad. I am really. I mean, YouTube, get it together. Get your shit together. Not necessarily. I mean, these are pretty good, but like the open mic, for some reason, I mean, you can't hear any of the backing tracks or anything. Like, it really just the sound is so bad. And it's super digitized, it's super and it's frustrating because I'd like to get back to the damn camera that I have, but I can't, the damn power cord broke. It's a 25-year-old freaking digital camera. So I tried to order one off Walmart.com and they surprise surprise they don't have it or something, so they refunded my money. So I don't know. I'd like to go back to the old camera instead of the live stream. I honestly I could do both. I could film it with the HD camera and upload it the next day, but also have the live stream on at the time for people who just want to watch. It's not bad to just have it. Not that I get that many viewers or likes or anything, but it's not a bad thing to just have as a outreach to the community. And some people freaking check in on it. Some people care. As I'm starting to warm up socially, I can feel people can feel that, and maybe they'll start to come back and they'll start to see, like, okay, they'll come out of the woodwork like the magical creatures of the forest that they are. And so, God, what am I going to talk about on Saturday? I mean, it's raining and crappy, so I guess I could be reading. Apparently, there's all these book clubs. This is like the new thing is like people, and I've heard they do this at KGB. And they're like very I guess they're very popular events where it's like people joining book clubs. But it's like I think they like silently read together. People just like go out into a room with strangers and just like sit there reading together. And that's like what it is. And I guess it's sort of like a run club or it's a singles mixer, really. It's like speed dating in a way. I guess the idea is you're like meeting someone of like minded because it's a book and also literacy in books. I mean, this is a common theme of the my live streams recently. How I hate literacy, my anti-literacy campaign. No, I mean, books are becoming like there was an article in Time Out New York about wow that New York City is sort of in a golden age of all these like reading series. All of a sudden, there's like I saw this fucking place, Nightclub 101, Saturday night. They've got a fucking reading. It's like that's Pyramid Club. Like fucking Nirvana played there. Like, I've played there when it was Pyramid Club. I haven't been back, but Saturday night they're having like a fucking reading with a bunch of people I've never heard of. It's a bunch of chicks I never heard of, who are probably 23 or something, 22. So it's like, I felt this. I mean, I think it's just like socially right. There's this movement, maybe amongst Gen Z or amongst everybody, this sort of like Luddite thing or like anti-technology, anti-phone. And so what are we doing? We're Kaya Gerber book club, Witherspoon book club, IRL book club. There's all these magazines. Suddenly there's all these freaking magazines. There's all these readings. There's all these poets. Everybody in New York is a fucking poet or a fiction writer or a songwriter. And that's awesome. And that's awesome. That's why we're here. And I'm not surprised at all. I don't necessarily know. I mean, I guess the point that I'm making is it seems more like just like normies are doing it. It doesn't, I don't necessarily, I suppose there are more readings, but like there's always been a lot of readings and there's always been very serious readings. It's a huge part of New York. It's been a huge part of my life. And people who watch my content know that. And so, like, it's one of these things where it's just like, oh, wait, we've been doing this. And now all of a sudden the culture wants to show up. And, like used bookstores. My whole life was spent in used bookstores. And now all of a sudden books are like this boutique, hot, collectible item. We live in this world of intangibility and non-manufactured, just internet fucking screen, everything, streaming. And, so books have become like this fetishized like status symbol, reading, intelligence, critical, now it's all of a sudden any kind of education at all. I mean, I guess everything is just got some kind of attached value now, and so the things that you have that have value is like, oh, okay, now if you can read, it's like now there's value in that. Like, if you're tall, it's like, okay, there's value in that. Oh, it's like if you're looks maxing, oh, there's value in that. It's like, oh, okay. uh it's frustrating to me that a paperback that would have cost 50 cents, you know, 20 years ago. Listen to me, Jesus Christ. I mean, it has been 20 years, is now $3 or $5 because it's like a vintage. It's in the fucking like sleeve. It's in like a plastic sleeve, like it's a fucking baseball card or something, or a comic book. And I had a line in my poem, the dollar rack's my last place the only place in society or something. My only place in society, the dollar racks. And Topos did have a dollar rack. That's where I got this book. But it's also like, our cost of living standards have broken the sustainability of keeping like a book collection in a lot of ways. As sad as that is. I mean, maybe not in Ohio or something, other places and cheaper places. Maybe it's not. It hasn't, but in my transient catch as catch can, just trying to fucking do anything, fucking look at me. I'm that man in a suitcase in a lot of ways. So like dragging all these fucking books around, paying movers, what have you. Uh Now it's just like, God, you just get tired and frustrated, in any case, I just don't like the snobby. It's become like this like cool kid, like I said, status symbol to like be a writer or do readings and shit. And I don't know, who am I to judge, I guess. Let he who is without sin, cast the first stone. But here I am casting stones. That's kind of what my live stream is all about, in a way. I would say. God, I mean, Ben Lerner's got this new fucking book out, so there's a lot. All Twitter is like all. It's got to be bots. There's no way there's this many people that are invested in talking about Ben Lerner. How is that possible? I mean, I don't. I just feel maybe it's because I wasn't an AP English or something, but I just don't feel like I really resonate with what those people are feeling. I guess I don't know. Um, like my relationship to reading, like it is hard for me to sit there with a book for like hours and hours and hours, giving it total focus. Um, that's one of the things I like about poetry is generally you can read it a number of different ways, depending. Like the Henri Cole book, I'm reading kind of from start to finish because, a lot of poetry collections are meant to work that way, for sure. But you can also just read one poem. It encourages brevity, compression, so it's less work. There's less words, and so that I don't know. It works with my pothead attention span and embracing of distraction as a. I don't know if I have ADHD. I don't really think so, but like so many people now do that it just seems like a part of our lives. Or we live in a such a fucking overstimulated, fragmented, hyper speed content screen, like uh that all makes sense to me. I in fact I'm so distracted I forgot why I was talking about being distracted. I just embraced it. Like I said, I embraced distraction. And maybe I should turn the light on. I mean, I thought this background would look like. I mean, not that there's really anything exciting. It's pretty dreary out there, but if I just throw a light, let me see. Let me see what happens. Let me cinematography this shit. See if that does. That might. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I guess that works. We're getting both now. We're getting that depth of field that we love so much from our Orson Welles inspired. Okay, so what movies have I been watching? I've been deep sleeping with it's my deep sleep REM playlist. I put on masterpieces of world. The greatest thing to sleep to is black and white movies. Particularly silent movies, but black and white movies. They're just something that I mean, I the movies never should have stopped being black and white in my opinion. No, I love color too, but as I've gotten older, I've learned to appreciate it more and how to use it and to be intentional about it. I think you can be too like Wes Anderson. I think is too intentional. It's like he goes overboard with these fucking palettes and whatever mood board or whatever it is that they're using to like organize their color schemes. It's like it's out of control. Godard. Now that's the way that Godard uses color blows my mind. Maybe that was just France at that time, but Jesus Christ, the color in Godard movies is maybe it's like paint. It's like painter. But black and white movies. So what have I been sleeping to recently? Let me get my other phone, my second phone. I mean, honestly, this is a pretty dope lifestyle. I've got. I don't know what I would do if I only had one phone. To be honest, like having two phones, it sounds ridiculous, but like I got dualies, and it is a fucking crazy uh it's such a huge asset to me to be able to film stuff on one, talking to the other, look shit up. I can live stream the open mic. I can do my Mater D thing on the other end. Um, yeah, okay. What the hell was I gonna look up? Oh, what movies I've been watching? My playlists, my cinema classics, my popcorn classic playlist. Cinema classics. Here we go. Where is it? Yeah, it's Saturday night. Nobody. People are out doing stuff with their friends. I guess that's probably what it's just it's been so long that I've been like kind of in solitude that I'm sort of just like I'm starting to hang out with people more. It's not easy, I'm kind of just like I haven't been going to any other mics recently, so it's like, I'm trying to I'm trying to figure my life out again and just get back into it. Being God, I don't need this. I don't need to look at all this. It's all up here. Why am I looking at? Well, there was these Samuel Fuller's fucking. These are intense things to wake up to in the middle of the night and just be like, oh my god, there's like this. Oh, the Godard King Lear movie was pretty dope. That was like an amazing thing because it's like all these like autumn leaves and shit. He's got that wig that's like it's like RCA cables. It's like AV cables, but it's like a Rastafarian. It's like dreadlocks. Burgess Meredith's in it. Norman Mailer's in it. Molly Ringwald. It's kind of like the Mazursky Tempest movie. I wondered if he was like inspired by that, but yeah. I mean, I'm a Godard mark, you know. So of course I've been seeing all this Brock Lesnar content since I said the nice things about Brock Lesnar in my last stream. Now TikTok is like showing me all this fucking I didn't know, and now I know all this shit about Brock Lesnar. He does seem like a real motherfucker, man. I mean, I don't know. He's scary as hell, but he definitely seems authentic and kind of mystically driven to me in a way. He's got a strong sense of intuition, um, and so I am kind of fascinated by Brock Lesnar. Somebody, Eric Bischoff. There was this video where Bischoff was saying that ECW was a sausage fest. Somebody asked Bischoff about ECW or something, which I think is like a sore subject with him, or I forget why. And which is ironic because they had fucking Mike Awesome on. I guess that was after Bischoff's time. That was like a Vince Russo. Who the fuck brought Mike Awesome into WCW? That's insane. But it's awesome. But Bischoff just was like, it's just trash in WCW. I don't know. It looked like shit, or I forget exactly. But of course, he had some kind of expert and judo fucking takedown of ECW. He's like, it's a sausage fest. He starts yelling. He's like, it's a sausage fest. There's not a chick in the building. It's a bunch of weird. And I was like, I thought he meant the wrestling, which is obviously not true. There's ECW women were some of the strongest. Francine, Dawn Marie, the list goes on. But like, I think he meant the crowd. The crowd was the sausage fest. Is that true? Was ECW just like a bunch of dudes? I suppose that might. I mean, maybe it was like dangerous or scary. I guess I never really. I mean, I just thought wrestling in general was kind of a soft. Like I didn't necessarily know that many women who were into it per se. I don't think when I was in high school, none of my friends that I talked about wrestling with were women. None of the women in our backyard, none of the people in our backyard wrestling federation were women really. Uh, maybe there was maybe Beth Shopis. I think maybe I talked about wrestling. She like knew who, and probably everybody knew who like The Rock was or like Stone Cold. Maybe like that was at the time where wrestling was actually like this cool fucking thing that like Nick Suter fucking did on Monday night, and like the cool kids were like watching fucking Raw because I don't know, that's just like that's how you know it was really hot. It's like, whoa, Nikki Foley knows who fucking The Rock is. Wow. I think that's kind of, but did they know what ECW was? Probably not. I don't think they knew Rob Van Dam or Sabu. It was, I mean, it's a nerd. I don't think ECW's product is like necessarily exclusionary to women or like Paul Heyman, I'm sure is like, if he's enlightened as we believe he is, Paul Heyman is like this fucking sage genius of wrestling, to be honest. He ECW artistically is maybe the greatest thing that happened in my lifetime. I would maybe if I had to put my money on one thing that truly, I mean, ECW, those guys went beyond the fucking limits of like no one, well, it just didn't, when they did it, it meant something. I don't know. When these guys in like AEW or Combat Zone or these jackoffs in the indies, it just doesn't mean anything. You're just seeing these like jobber nobodies, generic kind of creator wrestlers. I see so many fucking wrestling videos on my TikTok that are like botched, the worst botches ever. Some guy like does like a shooting star press and like breaks his neck. It's like, what the fuck? Indie. It's all indie guys. There's one famous clip where this guy tries to do an elbow drop on this guy on a table from like this bleachers. It's literally like 25 feet in the air. I mean, it's way up there. And he just completely misses. His like legs hit the table and he just lands on the fucking floor. It's like, see, that's when New Jack did it, I don't know. It's just it had a whole meaning to it. The gimmicks, the excitement, everything in ECW was like tuned. Not that the storylines per se were always, I think I just liked the characters. They were able to make those guys in characters. It wasn't quite as cartoonish as WWF was. There were elements of that, things like Tommy Dreamer and Raven and all these guys like went through ECW on their way to the Monday Night Wars or whatever. And ECW kind of zoned them in on this kind of like too hot for TV, mid 90s, like uncensored Howard Stern type wrestling. Um, gangsta rap. It was all about pushing the boundaries to market shit to people like me, like young male demographic boomer children. It's weird because right when we were younger, everything they said was like we were the number one demographic. All of the advertisers wanted to sell to 13 to whatever 24-year-old males. South Park, wrestling, all the MTV, a lot of the MTV Beavis and Butthead, or all the music, right? Whatever it was, rap metal. And then look at it now. That same generation, millennial white guys, got thrown under the bus of history for the sins of American colonialism and whatnot, and maybe deservedly so. But in any case, um, wrestling, more importantly, wrestling, more importantly, ECW, Paul fucking Heyman. And now look at where that dirtbag had a ponytail, was running his business out of Philadelphia in the 90s. That's how big of a dirtbag Paul Heyman was. Is like he's a New York guy, and he's fucking running ECW out of like a house in the suburbs in Philadelphia in a basement. He's like cutting promos and editing. And now he's like Brock Lesnar's manager at WrestleMania. And Roman Reigns, and he's acknowledged as like this kind of imminent, and his career, I mean, not to go on about this, but like his career is deeper than I realized. He's literally been doing it, since he was like a young teenager. He's been in the wrestling business. He's been inside the rails. And so Does he have a podcast? I would listen to fucking Paul Heyman's podcast. I kind of don't love his like manager slick. The fact that he cut his ponytail, his like manager slick guy persona. I don't love it always. Like he said, Roman Reigns was the greatest wrestler of all time. Like that's just bullshit. No, he doesn't believe that. There's no fucking way he believes that. And oh man, there was some other what the hell? There was something I wanted to talk about where oh, the sanitization of Brian Wilson. Okay, this is a whole different subject, but I do want to talk about this. Not that anybody gives a fuck about me talking about Paul Heyman. Brian Wilson, okay. Now there we have this vision of Brian Wilson as sort of like this like soft spoken and like I think that's beautiful. That like in his late life he did find peace and like got to like tour with this amazing band and sort of got some modicum of like cultural respect. They put the Smile album out. I think that's all like amazing. But like it did feel like I like the crazy Brian Wilson. I like the fat weirdo who wouldn't come out of his bedroom for 3 years. Like I relate to that Brian Wilson and they I'm not saying like they lied about who he was in his later years, but it's like they're almost like trying to make you forget or something. Like send this guy out on tour and he's just kind of like sitting there like, yeah, I love Be My Baby. I love what did they ask him his favorite he knew his shit. He was a hip guy. Yeah. And so I don't know, they kind of turned him in like this Disney figure or something. And it's like, I like the freak Brian Wilson. I think we should, why not love and embrace the many faces of Brian Wilson and don't act like that. I don't know. I guess I'm just attracted to stuff like that as people, who've seen me perform may, I like those kind of grotesque, insane, like Blue Velvet. There was this clip that popped up in my TikTok where it's like the Beach Boys and it's Brian Wilson jump scare and it's like the mid 70s and they're all like, Mike Love is wearing like a fucking like serape or like some kind of, like poncho thing. Al Jardine looks like fucking like Scarface. They've all got like beards and shit, like super long hair. And they cut to Brian Wilson just real fast and he's just like sitting at the piano and he looks like Charles Manson. He literally looks like he is Charles Manson. He looks psychotic. He looks like a serial killer. And he's fat and he's got a beard. And you're like, that's the Brian Wilson I love right there. I love the guy who like got on stage in Pittsburgh in his bathrobe in 1976, like and played bass and tried to play bass and like, like it's the old days, like it's 1962 or something. They asked him his favorite Beach Boys album. He said Beach Boys Love You. That's the one with Solar System and Airplane and so yeah, I celebrate the crazy Brian Wilson that they've tried to like whitewash out of history. The shadow. The shadow. But I don't know. I think things like having a sandbox in your living room and not leaving bed for 3 years. Like I find that like he's a true bohemian kind of artist. Like Brian Wilson. I don't think it's credit for that really. In the same way that they want the Beach Boys legacy to be like these kind of like hits, these car songs, these immortal classic, the big ones, and then some of the I think they're conscientious about like cultivating the more like connoisseur deep cuts and reissues and nerds, people who are like nerds about the fucking Beach Boys. Like they're the Beatles, and the thing about the Beatles is there were, four guys for one thing that were all three of whom were like pretty much equal creative partners in a way, and then George Martin wrote all the fucking stringer. Anytime they needed like a thing, it was just like okay, George Martin figured it out. He took this shit that these guys brought in and was like, okay, we'll put this here and let's try it this way. And he kind of paced them out so they made it work and made it right. In the Beach Boys, Brian Wilson did all of that shit himself, basically. You know, he wrote the fucking songs. He didn't always write the lyrics per se, but like he produced the shit, he wrote the arrangements. It's like the Beatles didn't really do that. They had a fucking guy that was like older, that was also like an artist in his own right, George Martin, and who, they were developing recording techniques. Whereas like Brian Wilson, it's like he literally just fucking did all of it. It's one guy who did all of it. His vision is kind of more singular in a way. The Beach Boys, if there was no Brian Wilson, like it would not exist. Like uh there would just be nothing. There wouldn't even be Kokomo. There'd be this weird song that came out in the 80s called Kokomo. And with this middle-aged blonde Republican who does transcendental meditation, is the biggest asshole on planet Earth. But like there would just be no Beach Boys. With like the Beatles, it's like, I don't know, any one of them maybe could have got famous, to be honest. Like they're all pretty talented in their own right, and they're all contributing. Not that the Beach Boys didn't have elements of that, but their whole vision and their whole like sonic uniqueness is really because, it's like it's the creation of this one guy who was autistic or whatever. That's what people would call it now, I guess. Anybody who's just like quiet and antisocial and, high uh functioning is autistic. And I don't know, Brian Wilson, I guess, is probably autistic, right? I mean, um, so I salute the weirdo, the circa like 7345. There's some YouTube interviews with him and shit that are sort of classics where he's just like being fucking weird as hell, and he's hilarious. He's hilariously funny, to be honest. Brian Wilson is like, I would totally fucking chill with this guy. I get along with people like this. These are my people. He's kind of like Brian Dennis. Brian Dennis was this guy at our school that was like, I don't know. He didn't have the same filters as everybody else or something. So he would just say shit that you're like, all right, now we're talking. Brian Wilson. He's on cocaine. Oh, we did so much cocaine. I'm bugging my old man. I mean, there's unbelievable. You think Elvis is like, I mean, there's some gnarly Elvis footage, but man, with Brian Wilson, it's like there is a lot of really gold mines of like kind of growth. I don't know. I guess I'm just fascinated by that type of deranged. I don't know why that has to be a part of it. To me, that it like elevates it. Like that's when those people, like he said, his favorite album is Beach Boys Love You. It's like that's the one he put out when he was at his craziest. That's when he was living in his fucking bedroom and shit. And the other album, Adult Child, they just reissued this, and I think Al Jardine is on tour. He's like touring the Adult Child album. The Adult Child album is incredible. It might, to be honest, it's my favorite Beach Boys album. Well, the Smile album, to be honest, the Smile album is a masterpiece of like human endeavor. Every fucking like that is our classical music. That's American classical music. Put on the Smile album. That is like that's as good as anything. That's as good as Mozart. It's as good as Beethoven. It's as good as George Gershwin or the Beatles. It's to be honest, it's probably a better piece of art and work than Sergeant Pepper's. Like Sergeant Pepper's might be like more fun or like easy to listen to. The Smile thing is like this whole cycle of it's like a Wagner or something. It's just it's got these movements and You just it's like, you kind of transform through these different things so effortlessly. And, Pet Sounds is everybody's favorite thing. I like Pet Sounds. Definitely. There's a lot of stuff, but it's a unique album for sure. And it's I don't the mood of it, it is kind of like Frank Sinatra. It's kind of moved by these strings and things. It's not really driven by bass, drum, guitar, backbeat thing. It's more like these kind of moody atmospheres and wistful, kind of melancholy. Smile is way more like, I don't know, it's like a movie. It's like this there's way more of kind of like a timeline to it, and like a plot or something. It kind of moves through these definite systems that you can see are kind of like mapped out and planned, and it's like the cabinescence and it's almost like seasons, fire, but you got cool, you got water, you got everything. You got blue, you got orange, you got all these colors. You got Pet Sounds feels more like an album. It feels like a bunch of songs that like are amazing, unique kind of torch songs almost. Teenage Symphony to God. Brian Wilson said that Good Vibrations was a teenage symphony to God. I don't know. I love that. To me, that's like the look of the Beach Boys, the beards. The Beach Boys are, maybe they're not exactly, they're equal to the Beatles in different ways. I think there's complexity to the Beach Boys music. I don't know. I don't know if you find it. The Beatles music, I don't know, is quite so complex. There's still like a kind of a rudimentary quality to a lot of the Beatles stuff that is because they're three guys, and Brian Wilson, I don't know, it's more like jazz and classical and avant-garde. I mean, I get, obviously the Beatles have elements of that. I don't know if I'd say the Beatles are like jazz. It would be hard to find like a jazz influence necessarily in there per se. Um One thing that I really think is unique about the Beatles, and when I hear them now, is like everything I hear, I like they're a skiffle band. When I hear the Beatles, everything they do, I'm like, there's skiffle in this. There's just a slight little type thing in every it's like a different sense of rhythm than Americans have. And even other British bands, like there's none of those other, like they started out as like the Quarrymen. Like I see all these TikTok videos of like the fucking guys who were in the Quarrymen and shit are like still alive, and they still play, a lot of them. And they're playing with like a jug bass and like banjos and shit, a wash tub, or what is that thing? A fucking whatever the hell that is. All this laundry equipment. They were doing laundry and then just like, let's jam. And Skiffle was born. We was washing me clothes, washing me knickers. I got out me cigar box and tied a rubber band and chicka chicka choo. Was on a Rock Island line, mate. There's weird, the Beatles are European in a way that like the Beach Boys are so clearly American. There's something that's like flatter, more kind of like boom, 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 low and slow. The Beatles, there's always kind of like a chung chunka chung chunka chung chunka, and the bass is so German. It's kind of like boom, 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 boom. It feels like a tuba. Everything McCartney does feels like he's playing a tuba in a way to me. He's just like bow, bow, bow. They really bounce that shit. That's why it works. This quote where fucking Quincy Jones says the Beatles are the worst musicians in the world and McCartney was like a no shit bass player or something. He was like not a nothing. He was like a nothing. That's like insane to me. Like, how can you think that Paul McCartney is like a nothing bass player? Especially the early stuff. Some of that shit he plays, it feels like microtones or something. It's like, how is he doing this? He's like finding so many notes, and it fucking all is so bouncy and nice. It's like his to me, McCartney's bass playing until like I mean, obviously the whole way through, but particularly until like uh Beatles for Sale. Anything before that, his bass playing is like unbelievable. You listen to the stuff he's playing in Hamburg and like the stuff on with the Beatles, like it's a shame that there's not more clarity to it because those all of the bass stuff he's doing on those first two albums is like so fucking locked in. It's like he's doing all these walking parts and just like it's all so fucking it's the best is for my money that's the best playing bass playing anybody's ever done. If you ask me, that is the best bass playing any like certainly any rock and roll bass player has ever played. Maybe James Jamerson of Motown, and like, I understand the Carol Kay stuff and the Brian Wilson stuff, but like it's not like that stuff. Like it's so full of life. The dude was fucking 20 years old. And he's just like blah, 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 blah. The bass line in Twist and Shout or all those Hamburg recordings. The best Beatles album is Live at the Star Club. I'm sorry, okay? Here's a hot take for you, okay? Here's my hot Beatles take. A controversial take. The best Beatles album, okay? And I will win any argument about this. There are no arguments. The best Beatles album, Live at the Star Club, the Hamburg live album. Either that or the BBC album. The BBC album, the breadth of what they're doing on that album, and it documents their live that's as close as we're gonna get to seeing them in like before they sold their souls to the recording industry. But like the BBC album, the scope of that material, including the originals. There's original songs that are on that album that are not on any other fucking album. That song "I'll Be on My Way" is an incredible song. And it's like it's on this one fucking Live at the BBC album. And some of those demos too. I mean, fucking From a Window or Bad to Me or I'm in Love or One and One is Two. It's like those songs are as good as anything they ever did. Those early Beatles songs just have a spirit that like you can't find that really anywhere else, including in their own work. To be honest, they're just flying in this early stuff. And the bass parts. I mean, listen to the fucking bass part on Twist and Shout. Like, it's so busy, but it's like there's not a better bass line anyone has ever done, ever. Including fucking Jaco Pastorius and I mean, not to bring jazz into it, but like, any of those guys. Charles Mingus. I no offense. I don't know. I mean, I'm a rock and roll guy. I guess it is repetitive stuff, but like and some of the Sergeant Pepper stuff has that same quality. Lovely Rita or a lot of those Sergeant Pepper songs are super fucking busy but I mean that early stuff. I mean Red Sails in the Sunset. My goal in life now is to meet McCartney. I want to meet McCartney and jam with McCartney because I want to get him back to the Hamburg shit. I think he needs to go back to Hamburg and play Red Sails in the Sunset and Dream Baby and he did all these early songs that like they never did again and they never recorded. I saw the Beatles set list from 1963 on something, and it was like they played "If You Want to Make a Fool of Somebody." What did that sound like? There's no recording of that. There's a few things on it that you're like, there's really no recording of this. So I don't know. James Jamerson, obviously, is kind of similarly in the pocket and kind of adventurous and melodic and inspired. So I don't know. McCartney's singing harmony though, while he's doing it. And like he's singing like the best harmonies anyone's ever fucking done too. It's like, how is McCartney like the ultimate goddamn harmony singer? Every fucking thing he does just adds so much sauce. Like McCartney just adds so much fucking sauce. It's nuts. He's able to support, you know. I think John Lennon saw that. Like, I don't know, that moment of recognition must have been so strange. It's like, this guy's useful to me. He's left-handed. How fucking crazy is that? John Lennon, Paul McCartney. And he just, anything that I do, he can sort of like just make it better. He can blend in. He can figure out something to play with it. Sing the fucking Everly Brothers songs or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how the fuck they do that. How do they do it? How do they sing those goddamn parts? Um, so yeah, why did I start talking about that? McCartney's new album sounds dope too. The Boys of Dungeon Lane. It's another classic. I hope he lives to be 100 fucking years old. I hope they figure out how to make people immortal before Paul McCartney dies. Because I think if they could get Paul McCartney to age in reverse, and I think that would be completely worth it for humanity. Like, can we make Paul McCartney like 20, 23 years old again or something? Like, this guy is fucking, what happened? Why haven't there been more Brian Wilsons and Paul McCartneys, and what happened? How did we fuck up so bad? Why are we just live streaming? You know, this is not really, I mean, this is not going to be as universally accessible as what they did. I mean, what happened? Why are there no McCartneys? What does Mark Fisher say about it? It's because we're all. Oh, my mom is sending me texts. I hope my mom is not. If my mom is watching this, thank you for subscribing to my YouTube page. I swear people watch, Mom. I do have an audience of like 3 to 5 people. It gets out to people. I have, I get enough impressions, let's say. Like, okay, I was walking down oh, Jack, and okay. I was walking down Bleecker the other day, and this guy I hear, "Oh, Easy Paradise." This guy stops. He's like, "Oh, Easy Paradise." I'm like, "Okay, sweet." This guy Adam, and shout out, and I think he's coming on Monday. He's like, "Let me get a selfie." And I get I get people that tell me they watch this and blah. I don't need to justify this to anybody. Okay, I'm proud of my body of work on the internet, and my my elite communications subscriber base circle of people who, I mean, go and watch this fucking video of Professor Zhang from June 2024 and tell me this guy isn't like 75% right about predicting all of this shit. And so, we might want to take seriously some predictions that he's made that haven't quite come true yet, but very well could. What the fuck did I watch? Maybe I'll put on Intolerance tonight. That's only 2 hours and 46 minutes. I mean, DW Griffith, you're a bitch. My last vlog was 4 hours and 12 minutes, okay? Movies are as good as they are long. The longer, I mean, the better, I think. The longer the runtime, the more prestigious. DW Griffith Classic, Intolerance, 3 hours, 31 minutes. Still not good enough. I mean, I still got you beat by 45, 42 minutes or whatever, 40, whatever, 40, 11, 40, 41 minutes. 311. God, let me see if I've got anything in my subject list to talk about here. I'm going to my kusanagi. Oh, my brother's in Japan. That's pretty cool. A lot of people have been going to Japan, I guess. Okay, let's see what I got here for my subjects to talk about. Oh yeah, listening bars. Should I talk about listening bars? Uh, well, fuck. I thought I had written down some more shit. Oh well, I'll do 2 hours. We're just hanging out Saturday night with my online community. You just never know when you are just gonna spark a conflagration of attention. You just gotta keep streaming and praying and and eating your vitamins, and eating. Speaking of which, I think it's time for a little brain vitamin. It's time for our smoke break for all our loyal fans out there who are smoking at home. All my pothead fanatics. Let's see. But first, I'm gonna have pierogies. Let's do some cooking. What do you say? This will be exciting, right? This is dynamic. This is like Regis. Okay. Got these Trader Joe's hash browns, which are just like the hash browns from McDonald's. Uh, but the thing is, I don't have any plates, and so apparently a microwave uses less power when you cook with it than the clock does. Like a microwave actually does not use that much electricity, I guess. And so these are just like the fucking hash browns at McDonald's. $3.99. I think you can like get 15 of them. We'll see how long that lasts. With the straight over moose closed and everything. You just throw that baby in there 2 minutes. Like I said, I don't have any plates. I cook everything on paper towels because I just don't have any. And so it sticks to the paper towel. I haven't figured out how to not get it to stick to the paper towel yet. So every time I pull it out, I lose some of the potato because uh, so we'll see what else I've got. So I got some pierogies here. Mrs. T. We talked. I think I did this. I'm just rehashing shit I did the other day. I'm reheating. I'm reeating. So yeah, we're back with Mrs. Pierogi. It's another night with Mrs. T. We're spending another night in with Mrs. T. Spilling the tea, and I don't know. They're pretty good. I don't. I'm just like on a dumpling thing. I'm obsessed with dumplings. Recently, I just had soup dumplings for dinner, basically from Trader Joe's. Those are $3.99. They know they've got you with that soup dumpling. They know you want that soup dumpling. That spurt of hot soup. It's so good. And I don't know. I'm just like chasing that dumpling kind of squishy, that squish of, it's like a gusher, but of like, potatoes and flour. So I don't know. I'm just on a dumpling. It's just an interesting food to me. I guess it's just bread and it's meat and bread basically, but it's kind of self-contained. I need like modular foods right now. I don't know. Is microwaving bad? I don't. Is it bad for you? Is it dangerous? I don't know. So yeah, the fucking thing, as you can see, 2 minutes. Look how greasy that shit is. It's fucking greasy and it's hot. It's greasy and hot. And so if you're like me, you have no patience and you want to eat it immediately. And so let's figure out how to fucking do it. See, there's very little chance that we're gonna have. See, now I'm wasting so many paper towels. There's very little chance we're gonna have of getting this off of this without losing some of the potato matter. And so I don't know scientifically what to do, if it's better when it's hot or cold to, like, you know, get this fucking thing off of this. But in any case, this is how it happens every fucking time. And if I'm lucky, I can get most of the napkin off. But I have not successfully, like, just cleaned it, peeled it. If anybody has any advice how to prevent this, please in the comments just let me know. Send me a private message. There's probably a YouTube video. I guess, I shouldn't, I'm unqualified to make a YouTube video about this because obviously if you prepare it the way that I do, you'll ruin the integrity of the food. Which, to be honest, that's pretty typical for everything I do, actually. So nothing new there, really. Okay, so there's no way that this is coming off of this potato without ripping some of, like, I'm gonna lose, I'd say 15% of this potato, this hash brown, just because of the cooking method that I have. Like, what if I had a plate, obviously it wouldn't do this. But I think you're even supposed to wrap it in a fucking paper towel. God damn it. Come on now, bitch. No, I really fucked this up. See, you have to be, it's like ripping a sticker off. If you try to do it too fast, and the fucking thing is hot as hell anyway. So look, I destroyed it. I mean, that's really not good at all. So I got about half that one. That's really bad. I normally wait for it to, like, cool down a little bit before I try to rip it off. You might want to try that when you're preparing. Use a plate when you're preparing your hash browns from Trader Joe's. Use a plate and let it cool down. I don't have the patience. I'm live. I need to get this energy in, so I can keep streaming and keep coming up with you know, the bars, the insights. Who knows who that person watching out there is? It Adam S? How's Adam S doing? When I moved to Midwood, I had this plant that I think I found on the street in Chelsea, and it was like, green when I had it. It was like a potted palm tree or something. And when he moved, he put it in the basement because all my stuff, they moved it in the basement. And so I was like, oh, we can't leave this in the basement. Like, it'll die. Like, if I leave this thing in the basement. But the thing, it was down there for a few days and it was, like, still green. It was still doing good. So I moved it into my room. And, like, sure enough, within, like, a couple months, it was totally dead. It was like I was watering it. It theoretically got sunlight in that room, better than in a basement. And it just, like, totally was just like brown, and it was like sticks. It was just like totally dead. Totally, all of the color was dry, bone dry. And I just remember, like, looking at this and, like, if I'm as good at taking care of that as I'm good at taking care of myself, then, like, that's what my body, like, looks like on the inside. It looks like that dead plant. There's something that, like, I'm not doing right, that, like, I'm feeding myself microwave fucking pierogies and hash browns from Trader Joe's, and, like, this is my idea of, like, health food. When I was growing up, like, I thought this was, like, like vegetables. Like, oh, it's got strawberries in it. It's a Nutri-Grain bar. They wouldn't call it a Nutri-Grain bar unless it had nutrients in it and grains, nutrient grains. They couldn't legally do that. Even though it's just a fucking pastry. This is basically a Pop Tart. I thought about eating Pop Tarts again. I was at the store in a moment of weakness and I'm like, I'm going to buy fucking Pop Tarts. They're not that expensive. As a kid, like I always wanted Pop Tarts so bad. It was like, oh my, we never had Pop Tarts. It was just something we didn't have in our home for some reason. It was not an item that we really. Now I'm an adult. It's like I could buy Pop Tarts if I wanted to. That's dangerous. How do you stop yourself from eating Pop Tart as an adult with free will? They're only $4. They're strawberry with frosting. That should be illegal. Like cigarettes or whatever, drugs. Should be illegal like drugs are. If they're gonna outlaw cocaine, they should outlaw Pop Tarts. It's the same thing practically. It's probably just as bad for you. It's probably just as addictive. Sugar, right? It's like supposed to be super addictive. Are pierogies addictive? Make them illegal too. If we're just making laws arbitrarily with a fucking, I mean, how can they get away with this? Selling us as poison, feeding us as poison. Um, oh yeah. Well, I did want to talk about like, Elon Musk had that thing about make comedy legal again or whatever. Legalize comedy. Legalize comedy, guys. Am I right? Come on, guys, right? What's the deal with airline food, guys, right? Am I right? Yes. Right, guys? Yes. We're not Nazi. We're not trying to kill everyone. We don't hate black people, guys. Am I right? Like, yeah, right, guys? Yeah. Legalize comedy, right? Yeah. Don't cancel me, guys. Woo! Cybertruck, guys. Right? Cyber. I'm going to save humanity, guys. I'll bet Elon Musk likes Professor Jang. Okay. Well, my thing with Professor Jang, it's like if he's so good at predicting this shit, maybe it's because he knows it's going to happen. Like these predictive markets. They said there's people in the. Trump said something about Rubio had a poly market bet or something on the war. It's like, what? Like, I mean, I guess the outrage at some point you just have to stop being outraged, but like that is unbelievable to me. They said Trump is like he doesn't like the predictive markets. That's what the headline said anyway. I doubt it. I doubt that's true. That's bullshit. Of course he fucking likes them. His kids, I guess, Eric Trump and has made shitloads of money betting on the war and shit. It's like if these guys know what's going to happen, like Professor Zhang, this may have been their plan the whole fucking time. It probably was. They probably had this fucking plan the whole time. We're going to fucking go into Iran. And we're going to go into fucking Venezuela, Cuba, Greenland, Canada. That was probably the whole time. That was the whole campaign. That was the plan. He should have said that shit. He should have said, yeah, YMCA, elect me. We're going to invade Greenland, cocksuckers. Yay. Isn't that good? Look, I'm at McDonald's. Yeah, we're going to Iran. You're going to be drafted, you fucking 45-year-old fucking millennial with a, IBS with a food allergy. Take your gluten allergy and we'll see you in fucking Carg Island. Some of this drone shit is crazy. These videos of people getting killed with drones are, it's life is cheap. Now more people are talking about how the assassination was fake. It's like it's becoming more and more just like this acknowledged thing. The Trump assassination attempt. Now that he's lost his fucking marbles, it's like, what difference does it make? He doesn't know fucking, up from down at this point. He can't recognize anybody. Has people seen this picture of him asleep in the Oval Office? It's like it's pretty much just out in the open. Like everybody kind of recognizes like the dude is not really functioning. Like he's worse than Biden, probably, honestly. Biden wasn't really falling asleep in the there's like all these people around him, they're taking a picture, and he's just like, it's like, whoa, this is, you can't get like a little bit of fucking energy up for this. Like grandpa would be like smelling some 16-year-old's hair or something. He'd be groping like, the young women or something. So he had dementia maybe, but like he was still a creep. So uh they don't seem to have a problem with it. They're just letting him fall asleep in the goddamn chair. Well, they're all just like, around him taking their picture taken. These are Trader Joe's mini cupcakes. I like them because they just raised the price. They're $4.49. They were $3.99. They're gluten free. They're dairy free. I doubt if they'll be honoring my dietary requirements when I'm in the fucking, when I'm a grunt in China, when I'm fighting China, when I'm getting killed by a Chinese drone, when I'm like, this is the last thing you're going to see, "Ah!" And then it's just going to go blank. The Chinese drone traces you. When the Chinese drone chases you down, remember when they had all those fucking drones off of New Jersey? People remember this, right? There was like all these fucking drones. What if those drones just had a bunch of fucking bombs and shit? Or were weapons? It's like, I'm kind of surprised it hasn't happened yet, actually. I think in a weird way that this war is like waking people up. Not that people haven't been like aware that like these drones are in the warfare and like how they're used. Like people, that was one thing they always complained about with Obama. Is Obama like used all these drones on people? Drone warfare. It felt like it had a different meaning back then. When I picture Obama drone warfare, I don't picture it like in Ukraine or like with this Iran thing. They're acting like it's a surprise. It's like, oh, they got these fucking drones. What? They foiled our missile systems from the 80s. That cost $3 million for every fucking. Yeah, it's not 1983 anymore. Like, they have these toys that fucking, are better than the goddamn missiles. Uh, so I don't know why they didn't see this coming, why they didn't plan for this, why they haven't changed the strategy with like the Iron Dome and all these kind of like anti-missile systems. The drones they can just throw at them all day. And like I've said, I'm surprised it hasn't happened here. Knock wood, God forbid, but like, this is a big fucking country, and there are like I don't think you can have a drone in New York. Like, there's no, you can't even get a. Maybe if you have a permit or something, and like I'm sure there are people that are flying drones here and there just like illegally. Like you see certain footage on videos and shit. You're like, okay, those people probably fucking flew a drone in like a way they shouldn't have, but it's like the NYPD has drones and like that's it. Like no one else is. My neighbor in Park Slope, he cut his fucking trees in his yard one day. I remember he had all these fucking like, landscaping climb up into his tree, and they cut this like airspace in his tree. So he would go into his backyard and just like fly his drone like up and down. He wanted like he was in Gulf War, I think, the first one in the 90s. And I think he just wanted to have a drone for some reason. I think he did video stuff too, or some kind of filming thing. So maybe he wanted it for film or something, and he wanted to practice with it or something, probably. Because you get like a license, like, oh, I'm a drone operator. I know I'm licensed to fly the fucking thing. Yeah, okay. So are these fucking soldiers and shit. Oh, you have the drone operator's license? Good. You'll be the first one drafted. Perfect. We need you. We'll be sending you first. I'll be back here in the bunker with your women. One of the all-time greatest lines of our childhood. Anybody who I was friends with growing up knows this. We went to this fucking because we were nerds into fucking first-person shooters when I was like, and just like, this was 99, 2000, 2001, and it was hard to get any kind of setup that would play like a good first-person shooter multiplayer online. Like, it was hard to get Quake or Doom or Quake 2, or we wanted to play this game Tribes or Half-Life. It was just so fucking hard to get a computer, or Duke Nukem. We bought this Duke Nukem 3-pack for Windows 95 or maybe 98. The expansions wouldn't work with the extra levels and guns and shit. So that, but we couldn't really get an online. So we went, there was this place, the Guard Tower, and then there was this place, fuck, what was it called? Oh my god. The Soldiery, I think was what it was called. The Soldiery. It was in the back of a comic book store. The comic book store was called yeah, the Soldiery. It was called the Soldiery. It's still fucking there. Holy shit. It's still there. Of course. Of course they're not going to go out of business. They're open right now. Of course the nerd store's not going to go out of business. Are you insane? They're probably making more. They probably open another one. They probably have franchises and shit. We live in a nerd fucking culture. But at that time, I mean, these guys were actually nerds. At that time, like, knowing how to use a PC, like, you like all these guys had BO, and like they were real awkward, and just like, back then there was a reason why there was a stigma against these guys, because it's like they were weirdos. They all were fucking creepy, and like, they were IT guys at that time, which like, you actually had to know how to program and weird primitive DOS and shit. So these guys were like extremely on the spectrum, and just like, I don't know. It was like, you're creepy, they smelled real bad. The whole place smells like BO. And they're just in, because it's like a strategic gaming place. So it's like they have all these tabletop war games. I guess that was like an outgrowth of like Dungeons and Dragons. Like that was the first of that sort of culture that I knew about. Where it was like, they have all these little, miniature knights and shit that like you paint them, and like, you have a whole fucking, like tabletop landscape that's like some you buy the little castles and shit. My brother was kind of into that stuff, and I liked it too. I just like didn't really, to paint those little guys, like, took so much fucking patience, and like they're tiny, and it's like you have to paint one layer. You got to buy all these different paints. My brother Jack had all these fucking like little paints for little miniature, Dungeons and Dragons, Warhammer, whatever that shit was. And the guard tower and the soldiery, they like sold. Well, I don't know if the soldiery did. The guard tower like sold that stuff. It sold like those little pewter cast iron. I was into it for a little while, when I was younger, but my brother would like custom make little, um dioramas and little minute models of like he remade this one that was like kind of an industrial, kind of like oil drum, big oil refinery almost. And it was really good actually for like a fucking 15-year-old. But it takes a lot of time and craftsmanship and patience. My brother's like more of a craftsman in a way. Like I have craftsmanship, but I'm more like razzmatazz in a way. I'm more of an energy healer or bullshit artist or something. But in any case, Warhammer, I was making fun of nerds and how we were nerds. And so as fucking desperate 14-year-olds trying to play any kind of goddamn online, all I wanted to do was play like multiplayer first person shooter. That was like my burning, other than like things with women or whatever. That was like my burning, like, oh my God, we have to figure out a way to play Tribes somewhere or Team Fortress Classic. Why does God thwart every effort I make to play Team Fortress Classic? I don't know. But I could just never get it together. And so we went to this fucking place, the Soldiery, in Columbus, Ohio. It's in the back of a comic book store, and it's like a war game place. And it's all these fucking. It's like the book store guy in The Simpsons. Like that's what that kind of thing is based on. Those people took over the culture. They took over the media with all the stupid fucking Marvel movies and Comic Con shit and LARPing and all of that dumb shit. Now that is like everything. It's Hollywood. It's every fucking movie. There's no adult anything. It's all bullshit. It's all superheroes. And now they're in the White House. They're also like tech people and they're also just like, you know, they're all like libertarian or like I don't know, fascist weirdos. They're all fucking real weirdos. They're all like they probably like be January 6th. They're like that type of like alt right or something. I don't know. They're like MAGA or something, I'm sure. So anyway, it was expensive to like use their computers, right? Because at the soldiery, they were sort of moving into the 21st century where it's like most of it was like guys playing like I don't know, Magic the Gathering or something and like maybe it was pretty low key the day that we were there. We only went one time, I think, maybe twice. Our mom would take us to these various like LAN, like online gaming cafes, which back in the 90s, it's like that was still a thing. Like, oh, I'm going to go to a place that like has a better computer than I do, better internet or something. Kinko's copies or something. And like, there were these. So fucking the soldiery had like a bunch of fucking computers with that like had multiplayer games. Probably Quake. I don't remember what exactly they had, maybe Half-Life, but what we played was this game Tribes. Oh my God, Tribes was so fucking dope. Like, I love Tribes. This is the only time I ever played it because it was the only time I could fucking get a computer that would play it. But the thing that was different about it is it was like it was almost like you could fly. It was like I think it was maybe even a third person shooter. I don't know. But it was like you were in these giant, I don't know, it almost looked like Avatar or something. You were in this like giant, like it was sort of like Halo, like space, tech techno Death Star looking fucking like um, like pod. And you could like fly these long distance, I don't know, whatever. Tribes was amazing. But that was the only day in my life I ever actually got to, taste the sweetness. And so anyway, there was this guy there who was like a Ted Nugent type or something. He had like a fucking ponytail and like a sort of like a little goatee beard or something. And he was talking about, the virtues of he was really into StarCraft. You know, that's probably what most of the guys there would play. You know, that was the time when like StarCraft, the original StarCraft. I don't know. Do people know what that is anymore? Like, I'm sure gaming has like evolved. There's probably like a StarCraft for like your phone or something. But isn't Bungie like this billion-dollar fucking valued company? Didn't like Spielberg buy Bungie, or Bungie got acquired by somebody? I don't remember. Hollywood, some Hollywood thing, or they're like a big deal. But in any case, this guy was like, you know, and it was just this classic quote that like echoed through our childhoods, where it was like in adolescence, where it was like, you guys, you're playing these first person shooters, whatever. You'll be when World War III comes, you'll be the grunts out there taking bullets in the face. I will be like the command, because he played StarCraft, so he's like the general, right? He's like, I'll be back in the bunker with your women. This was like this nerd's fantasy of World War III. Is everybody who was like really good at tribes was like gonna be a grunt who was gonna like, be on the front lines of World War III, because he was good at StarCraft. He was going to be like a general or something. He was good at Command and Conquer. So he's going to be like, they're going to hire him for, maybe he probably is in Trump's cabinet or something now. He probably is very high up in the military. He probably is in a bunker somewhere with our women, honestly. He'll probably, by 2030, that guy will probably be in a bunker somewhere with our women. He'll have our women, and our women will just be like fawning. I think it would take a long time for women to break down to the point that they'd be like fawning over this guy and like ready to fuck this guy. It would take probably like 5 to 10 years, if ever. They might just turn celibate before they'd like fuck this guy in a bunker. But that was what, and the soldiery's still open. So he's probably still there. That guy's probably 70 years old now. He was probably like 45 back then, but you guys will be out there taking bullets in the face. I'll be in the bunker here with your women. It's like, okay, that's your nerd fantasy. Keep playing StarCraft, asshole. Sure. The Soldiery Game and Cards is a well-established tabletop game store in Columbus, Ohio, known for its large selection of board games, miniatures like Warhammer, BattleTech, Star Wars, and trading card games like Magic the Gathering, Lorcana. They host regular events, have a play-to-stay policy for events, and offer in-store credit for card trades with specific policies for buying. This is the AI answer, by the way. The store is praised for its knowledgeable staff and organized inventory, though some older reviews mention past customer service issues. Yeah, I can imagine. Well, that guy's back there in a bunker with our women. I mean, that's kind of a customer service issue, I'd say. I have a customer service issue with that, sir. So I don't even know what Lorcana is. But Magic the Gathering, I played a little bit with my brother and his ex-wife, and I actually did think it was pretty amazing. I wish it wasn't such like a Ponzi scheme or whatever. Or just like it's a racket. Oh, here's their upcoming events: MTG Commander Open Play, Gundam pre-release event. Ooh, that sounds fun. You want to go to the Gundam pre-release event? $30 entry. That sounds very reasonable. 32 player cap. Okay, well, it's not giving me any more information, but who the fuck is paying $30 to play? I mean, renting those computers to play Tribes was not cheap. I remember our mom had to pay like probably 20 or $30. It was probably, I don't even know, $5 to $10 an hour, maybe $7 or $8. I don't know, something in there. So God bless our mom for taking us to that, cultural oasis. The soldiery, it's still fucking open. There's a Reddit about it. Here we go. I wanted to share this place. It's a great store for board game enthusiasts. My family gets our Munchkin expansion packs here, but we also like to take the kids. Oh, I was walking through Williamsburg yesterday and I walked by this board game cafe. Oh, man. See, New York is dead. There was a bookstore that was like horror bookstores. What was it called? It was like over by Nighthawk, kind of. Not the best place in my opinion. Owner is a bit of an ass. I got a booster box at the MTG there and opened it before playing a standard tournament. After opening 2 packs, he kicked me out of the store to make room for the standard players. I told him I was one of the players for the tournament. He told me to open the rest in my car and come back at the start time. The Warp Gate is a way better place for Warhammer, MTG, or any growing community. That's got 286 upvotes on fucking wow. The guard tower. Wow. I mean, if I had a time machine, I'd go back in time to the year 2000 and invest heavily in nerd culture. I'd buy a bunch of fucking magic cards and I just start like some kind of dumbass comic book store or something. Because look, these guys are, they've spent these guys have probably been doing the same shit since I was there. Those same people have probably been back there just hanging out. And there's nothing wrong with that. Fuck it, who cares? It's the soldiery. They're goaded. I like their bad customer service. It's part of the charm. It's part of the experience, the customer service, the brand experience there. This is probably not interesting or engaging. I mean, I've got 0 viewers. You don't want to hear about the fucking soldier, you fickle. They're probably out having sex. It's Saturday night. People are out having sex. Not me, though. I'm celibate. I'm a Volcel. I'm kind of in like a monastic period in a way. Trying to I don't know, just like get healthy, recenter, rebalance, fix myself, fix my broken self. Oh my God, I need new glasses. I'm so over these glasses. I'm not feeling the sort of 70s drug dealer vibe of them. Really, not really feeling quite. I don't need to project this level of like grooviness anymore. I just look like Scott Galloway or something. Oh, cannot get this fucking toothpaste off my sweater. Fuck. What was I just talking about? I did a whole thing about all the soldiery, nerd culture. Now those people run Hollywood. Every movie is geared toward that guy. Every movie is geared towards those guys. Well, I mean, when I was fucking, 13, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to hang out at the soldiery and fucking play goddamn tribes. I'll be back here with you. Yeah, bitch. So I don't know what I'm gonna do for this gig. I don't have a fucking guitar. I know I'm gonna practice. I guess I can just sing my songs. I need to write some new songs. See, I want to write some new songs. I'm like excited to do it. It's just like I don't. What the fuck am I gonna write them? I guess I could write them on my phone somehow. I should. I need to figure out how to make some kind of like beats or something. I just need to become another white rapper. I need to become a SoundCloud rapper. I decided. Time for me to become a SoundCloud rapper. I need to. It's the one thing I haven't done yet. I've done everything else. I've done stand-up comedy, poetry, noise music, wrestling, videography, writing, live streaming, vlogging, filmmaking, playwriting, directing. I have done it all. In the entertainment industry, I have done it all. Believe me. Let me tell you. I know how. I have done it all, going. I have done it all. I have seen it all twice. In a certain way, this balcony is almost like a fire escape. I wonder if legally, like, that's what it's for, or like, what is the fire policy here? How the fuck are you supposed to get out? I mean, that balcony is probably not the safest way to go, I imagine. Should probably figure that out, I guess. My evacuation plans. God forbid. Maybe I should make some predictions. I should do some predictive betting. Oh yeah, Gates Elise is still alive. Okay, Gates Lee's still alive. He still does events in New York. I want to see an event. I want to see a live taping with Gates Elise and Professor Zhang reunited. I want to book that pay per view. Okay, that PLE. We need the Gay Talese Professor Zhang reunion stream live from Town Hall. Brought to you by Curtis Yarvin. Brought to you by Pita Thiel, the philanthropist. You know, that's like instead of philanthropy, that's what these billionaires do now. They just they own everything and they decide what we see. They decide, they buy media. Uh, they buy influence. They buy power. Should I turn this light on? I mean, let's see how it goes. They ruin our lives. They reorganize society. They try to kill all of us. They try to exterminate all of us. I mean, I do think the AI stuff is bullshit. Everybody's starting to see that. It's kind of a bluff. I heard somebody say it's useful to them in like firing people, basically. It's useful in them getting rid of like white collar employees or people that if they want to fire people, they use the AI as an excuse. We're gonna get AI to do this, we're bringing AI to in. But it's like it's not actually competent. It's still kind of uh it's just like an information aggregator or something. It's not really like creative. It's not actually like intelligent. It's more like artificial, I don't know, just like analysis or something. It's not really like intelligence, like it's not generating really uh like lifelike solutions to things to me. Like it's sort of incorrect. It's like uncalibrated. It's like it's a little bit off. And so to 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 be relying on it for all this stuff, I think is a big mistake. Like we're definitely not ready for that. But like Palantir, all these people, that's like where they want to go. They want to take it that way, and all the stock market speculation is bound up in this. So their kind of lie that they're telling themselves to like create this value, this bubble. Sam Altman, whatever, the Nvidia guy, they're suddenly like these kind of Silicon Valley celebrity super. The Sam Altman guy in particular is creepy and has real fucking fucked up opinions about certain things that we're just going to be subject to as a species. But it's also just like he's sort of like just a front. It hasn't really proven out yet. It hasn't really proven, it hasn't really taken hold, really. They keep trying to kind of force it on us. And it has uses. People are definitely using Chat GPT for things, and I guess that's one way to do it. But maybe I should just do my text messages with ChatGPT. I think people are looking for that now, and sort of like they recognize it, and they're like, nah. They appreciate when a human being writes it. Now you get credit just for that. We appreciate that you actually wrote something and just didn't have fucking ChatGPT do it. Does my vape have AI? I need an AI vape. They gamified my vape. Can I gamble on my vape? I need to be able to like bet money while I'm vaping. How do I gamble on my vaping? How many times will I vape this hour? Whoops. What the fuck happened? Zeros. Oh, so it is kind of a game, actually. That's weird. Am I out? I don't get this. Uh, I don't want to play a game. I just want to get high. Okay? I'm not really trying to fucking like, you know, do any typing or anything. Just want to smoke weed for Christ's sake. Uh, no one's ever gonna. Well, I don't know. Maybe somebody will. Maybe sad people lonely in the night. It's a new Matt Proctor. It's more Matt Proctor than you know that you needed. Well, I was trying, and I probably am gonna do this. Maybe in the next week, I am gonna live stream an entire day. I'm gonna do at least while I'm awake. Maybe while I'm asleep. You know, I guess it wouldn't really make any difference. I could do it while I'm asleep. But I am gonna. That's something I've wanted to do, and so I'm just gonna do it one day this week. Okay, that's a promise to you, the viewer. I am gonna live stream an entire day, one day this week. Maybe Tuesday. That might work because it's like I'll be at home maybe anyway. We'll see. I'm not gonna make any promises yet, but there will be a 24-hour, and I'm not gonna like talk except when I want to talk. It's really just gonna be like ambient. It's gonna be like this is my art uh uh thesis or whatever. This is my um like motto or whatever direction for this. My artistic statement. I'm going to it's just more meant to be just like hanging out and like here's the day and I'll stream the whole damn thing. Just as an experiment. I'll be reading whatever I do. I'll do a stream in the middle of the stream. I'll be streaming and then I'll stream. And then I'll like go back to whatever I was doing, cooking pierogies probably. I'll be eating three different kinds of dumpling, and Trader Joe's will be catering. And the $1 million dream will be rolling along, people. I think we're gonna get famous. I've got 2 months and 4 days to get famous. So I've got 64 days to get famous. So, uh, damn. What else do I need to talk about? More geopolitics or personal memories of the guard tower and the soldiery. And there was an episode of my Scenes from a Life where we went to the guard tower from like 2017. Eamon. I don't know if Eamon's out there. I hope Eamon is doing well if he's out there. I hope Eamon is doing good. I haven't talked to him in a while. Maybe I should text him or something. Uh, so, um, yeah, I'm going to do a 12-hour live stream or a 24-hour or something. I can do it on this. Like I said, okay, the two phone lifestyle. I didn't really get into this. I've got the this is so this one I've got. I mean, I don't know why I'm telling people this, but it's interesting to me. So whatever. That's generally what I follow. This one is on the hotspot. I've got a hotspot coming from this bad boy right here. And I don't even know what my limit is on my hotspot, but I haven't had a problem with it yet. And so I can live stream with one phone. I could be watching TikTok right now. You want to watch TikTok? Let's watch some TikToks. Let's see, just see what happens. Or just open up the TikTok. Okay. Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf is a good actor, I gotta say. Just come on. Have you seen the sign? Can you just come on? Are you just come? Can you just come on? Just come on. There you go. Beach Boys. Yeah, I was just talking about fucking Beach Boys. So the fucking thing now is, listening to me, show me a bunch of Brock Lesnar videos because they said nice things about Brock Lesnar. Here's where Edith Wharton lived on 23rd Street. These are famous homes of famous writers. West 10th Street, this is where Mark Twain lived. Okay. Famous. You have been the biggest pain in my. Okay. I don't know. I don't really want to watch TikTok right now. Oh yeah, book clubs and lectures on tap. Okay, I guess I'll talk about lectures on tap too. These book I guess I did talk about this already. These fucking book clubs, and I hate it on literacy. People move to New York to be writers. I don't know. That's why. Is it a surprise that all these people are doing readings? Like, I think I don't know. We're just the internet gives us this place where it's easier to enact being seen and as an artist, like putting it out there. It's like you can have an Instagram, you can have there's these things that are encouraging us to be like amateur artists, weirdly. Like YouTube is kind of a weird thing for like the average person to be on, actually. Like your average person wants, like your average person wants to make like a fucking movie or like TV show or like whatever you want to call this. Like when I was growing up, this feeling was there were certain people that were like meant to be in show business, but most people were like normies and they kind of just lived their lives. I was like, now it's like it seems like even people that weren't in fucking show business, like are making content and are maybe even better at it. People that are like realtors or just like whatever, just like normal people have a fucking TikTok and it's like they might blow up. It's like so I like that. I like that the internet encourages and sort of legitimizes, for as for as bad as shit is now, there are things about it that are like incorrect. And the fact that like everyone is encouraged to sort of like be a quote unquote content creator or something. We have devices in our hands where like we film shit. Normal people are filming shit, posting it. Accounts are sort of artistic. So I do think that that's actually really cool. As bad as Facebook and Instagram and all of it, Twitter is, and TikTok, it's like, and YouTube, it's like there is something about it that does feel like radically like local in a weird way and identifiable, whatever. But especially maybe on Instagram, like whatever the individual's like funkiness and style is does kind of come through. And that's I'm conflicted about Instagram. I don't love the way that it's like this social experiment that like tortures us chemically through like making us jealous of each other, disappointing us, whatever. But uh there's good things about it. What was the other good thing? Well, I mean, the fact that like you can see any freaking movie practically of all time, like immediately, like that's pretty remarkable. Or listen to any freaking song ever, like immediately. Like that's pretty cool. It's something that I'm sure anybody under the age of 20 like just takes for granted. But I remember when this stuff was actually limited. You couldn't just listen to any goddamn thing ever recorded immediately. Believe it or not, back in the fucking Stone Ages, you couldn't just pull up, anything literally ever made. Uh, and so, and the fact that you can just get on and do this is kind of crazy. Just get on and like pretend to have a TV show, no matter who the fuck you are. I mean, I do think that all of this stuff is sewn up by like right wing money. I don't think any real leftist thing is going to get through on here. I think it's all kind of controlled opposition. I guess I like some of the things on, like, I like Josh Cittarella's stuff to some degree. It's a little bit smug and I don't know. It's a little too, uh, I don't even know what you'd call it. Whatever, leftist politics are now. Not that I'm not a leftist. I just don't like the annoying kind of art world, trendy political interest all of a sudden. And they all have kind of the same brand of politics. But I think Josh Citarella does a good job of like entertaining for a left. He's not Joe Rogan. He never, it's like how many people watch that tops? A few 100,000 maybe. Like that's not nothing, but I don't think there's going to be the Joe Rogan of the left was like all of the talk show hosts, Colbert, like Jon Stewart, like those are the fucking Joe Rogans of the left. Like there really isn't, and there isn't going to be like an online Joe Rogan of the left because there's just not the money. Whoever owns YouTube is not going to let that happen. They're not going to promote anything that isn't like the spectrum of say what you will about our government, the spectrum of politics on YouTube, which is kind of like the prime, it's basically like network television was like, you know, 50 years ago or whatever. Like YouTube now feels like everything that like normal people watch is going to be probably on YouTube pretty much. I mean, I guess there's shows and shit people watch in the other streaming, but YouTube feels like the consensus. If you're gonna watch Colbert, you're probably watching him on YouTube or Jimmy or whatever it is. My mom was saying she watched Coachella on YouTube. It's like that's pretty fucking amazing. Like YouTube, yeah, there's a lot of things that suck in our fucking society, but the fact that I can upload a 4 hour long goddamn vlog to YouTube and do this and at least sort of like in an instant gratification way get out my dreams of being a filmmaker or artist or whatever and just like having a free direct way to communicate with whoever wants to tap into this usually well there are like who's the guy manicured or whatever, like there are people on the internet that I don't know that watch this, but there's also a lot of people within the community of like the open mic and all of the ecosystem of culture that I'm in New York City and other places that like if they want to check in on what I try to make all of my work live on YouTube because it seems to me the most ubiquitous utilitarian accessible medium there is, and it has for a long time. I mean, I've been on YouTube basically since it fucking started, and I've been seriously committed to it since probably, really the whole time, but especially since 2014 or something. And so, if my only thing that were to survive were my YouTube page, like it would be that would probably be it. It's all kind of there in a way. And in a certain way, I'm a citizen of YouTube. I live on YouTube. I exist on YouTube. My whole fucking life is on YouTube. And why not? Why not just give it over to the surveillance? Give it over to Palantir. My mom kept calling him Palantar. Yeah, they are fucking Palantards. I'm a libtard, they're Palantards. I mean, that guy should be in jail. Like, who put that guy, and how are they such a huge part of our national defense all of a sudden? And like, that's the future of our national defense. That guy's in charge. Like, what? He's like another Curtis Yarvin, Peter Thiel. Like, he's one of them. This guy's in charge of like the future of our warfare with AI and whatever the hell it is. Like, that's fucking really disturbing. Like, how did that happen? Like, was that a Trump appointee or that guy actually got legitimately in there? Why the fuck was I talking about? Yeah, like YouTube to me, okay, like I just published a poem on the Easy Paradise Instagram, and I was going back and forth about this because I'm like, I'm trying to do more on the Instagram. Like I'm gonna develop some kind of, how fucking Dream Boy, or who is it? Matt Starr, whatever the fuck his thing is. There's Dream Boy Book Club, but then there's Dream Baby Press, and they're both kind of similar in a way. One of them has these things, top 10 or whatever, things people love and things people hate. And they get all these famous people to do it. Like fucking, I don't even know, Lena Dunham or whatever. Tim Heidecker, these like, all famous people or whatever. Cultural leaders. But they're famous, so it's like, 20 fucking thousand people like it or whatever. And they have 30,000 followers and blah blah blah. So I need like an Instagram talk. I need an Instagram talk show, and or like I want to do it. I'm gonna do interviews on my YouTube. I'm gonna start to do interviews with people where like I stream interviews, and uh, I'm gonna clip those out for like Instagram. So I want them to be like I would like to do interviews with people from the open mic because I just think it would be a good way to actually like show deeper into their process, whatever that is. Like at the open mic, you just see, and you might be friends with them, but I'd like to interview them, like seriously as artists and things. I think it would be, it would just be a good way to go like deeper to show more and to get to know people that perform, So I want to start to interview people from the open mic and publish things on the Instagram actually because I would like to maybe collect them into books at a certain point, but I just think Instagram is the best easiest way to get work out there, to get it immediately into a place where like normal people are going to see it, like I've got 5,000 Instagram followers. It's like if I can get a couple thousand people to read this poem, that's probably more people that than would see it if I printed 100 copies of a book. I don't know. If I had 100 copies of a book, Would 2,000 people read it somehow? Like, maybe. Uh, but there's an immediacy to it, and I don't know. It's just like you're getting it out there in a the same thing with YouTube. It's like when I think about these books, and I love them, and I think they should be made. People should, and they will, obviously, like in a weird way, even though I'm an advocate for all this like online uh distribution. All these other people are going the other way, where it's like, yeah, let's form an in-person book club where we all like get together and read the same book and talk about it like we're in fucking English class, which is cool. I mean, that's why people are English majors, because they want to do that. You want to get together with people and like talk about what you're reading together. And like, I think people miss that. In college, I loved that. I loved sitting in a fucking classroom and like the rule at Ohio State, at least for a lot of my classes, a lot of teachers, it was like you had to speak twice. You had to participate twice every week, for a lot of my English classes. It was like that was I mean, I maybe that was some kind of, pedagogical recommendation or something, but or requirement even. But you had to raise your hand and like this was fucking college. And say like two different original comments about the book. So the professor would get to know you. He would consider your ideas. He'd provide a response. Maybe some of the other students would, it was almost like fucking posting or something. And other people nod and go, yeah. And people sort of get to know you. It's, but people are nervous. People are nervous to speak in class. There's a million reasons why you might not want to do that. Um, so uh, I think people miss that in a weird way. People miss like reading and getting together and just like sitting around talking about it. And the open mic is a different thing. It's more of just like a performance and a ritual. But I think people do want another like I was looking at some of these other organizations in New York that do like these book clubs and stuff. And it's like they do a lot of different stuff, like a lot of these they have a writing group, they have they have different kinds. It's not just an open mic every time. It's like they do an open mic and they do, workshop and they do I'm interested in this like lectures on tap thing. This is something I kind of heard about a few times is like professor or whatever. And this is something I've encouraged at the open mic. I wish more people would do that type of thing. Is like come and just for 5 minutes, just teach us about something, or give a little miniature lecture, or philosophize about something. Teach us about I don't know Derrida, or teach us about I don't know whatever the hell your little niche is. Doesn't necessarily have to be some kind of practice for entertainment. It can just be like a place to do a lecture on tap. Maybe that's what I'll do at the open mic. I'll open with a lecture on tap. But I also, I'm also constantly sort of like quarrying for these type of like viral or trendy, kind of funny, cultural, quirky one-offs where it's like lectures on tap. Like this is the cool thing this year in New York. And I get it. People they want to go out, but they're New Yorkers, they're smart people, they're educated, they want to learn something. They want food for thought. They want something to kind of respond to. What time is it? 9:30. Maybe we'll go to 10 o'clock. I'll stop at 10 o'clock. Or maybe I'll just keep it on. Well, I would like to plug my projector. See, the thing is, my projector only works with this phone right now, anyway. I don't have the right cable thing for this other one. Oh, man. I was out kind of late last night. I went to this rooftop party and fucking. Williamsburg. Shout out to Dominic Gregoretti. He had his single release, or it was a track release or something. It sounded good. It was interesting. It was an interesting track, and it was on a rooftop. I could see the fucking Empire State Building, so I got some nice cinematography of the same shit that I always take pictures of, the New York fucking skyline. So I am a little bit. I had two White Claws yesterday because they had them there. So I'm kind of a White Claw guy. I like boozy water. It's the best. It's the best of both worlds. It's hydrating and it's intoxicating at the same time. That's the balance I'm trying to strike. Really, drink healthily is what I always say. I mean, I know they say drink responsibly, but I think we can do better than that. Drink for success. The secret to my success is getting fucking wasted. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so what else am I going to talk about for the next 25 minutes? Oh, yeah, what time did I go to sleep? The goddamn L train is fucked up, so I had to fucking walk all this way. But, I was vaping and, well, okay, the secret is turning on your voice memo and that is time travel. I don't know if I'm just like traumatized or something that I'm addicted to doing this, but like I started to when I'm just like walking to the train or whenever I have to walk long distances or if I'm walking to Five Below or Maria Hernandez or whatever, I like to turn on my voice memo on my second phone. Okay. Phone number one, phone number two. This is the A. This is although I love them both equally. Okay, they're like my children. This is the oldest. This is the oh no, this is the oldest, and this is the youngest. But I love my phones. I love both phones. So this is the one that's like got the cricket, and this one is got the hotspot. See, it's the hotspot right there. And so he's kind of off the grid, really. This guy's the one that's like tapped in at all times. And they have a nice partnership. This guy can hotspot off this. I can do TikTok on either, but I've only got Twitter on this one, so I'm not on Twitter all the time. I have less apps on my wired phone because otherwise, because that kind of keeps me off it a little bit. But in any case, I have been doing these long because there's certain things that are like personal that I can't talk about on here. Whereas like I get on this, I can talk about anything. And so you guys only hear about 25% of the story. There's tons of shit I cannot talk about because it's kind of just like, it's my diary basically. And my real opinions uncensored about whatever. With this, I have to be pretty diplomatic and kind of watch everything I say and try to make it something that maybe is accessible or interesting to the outsider. I did get one like on this, so not terrible. I doubt if that many people will go back and watch this later, but uh like I said, my vlog got like a lot of watch time. So people did. Maybe it was the including all the clips. I don't know. Maybe that made it easier for people to be honest, to the average person, that's probably the part that's the most accessible because it's like they can sit and watch it. It's like, okay, this guy's telling us opinions or whatever. It's not just like a bunch of landscape, you know, 1080p fucking phone videos and like, open mic stand up comedy kamikaze fucking profanity. obscenity. Uh, so yeah, I'm doing a lecture on tap, everybody. It's all about lectures on tap. It's lectures on tap week at open mic. Bring your lecture. Do a lecture. I invite you. That's the theme this week, okay? It's a lecture on tap. That's the theme. Well, it's still poetry month. So it's National Poetry Month. So we're still doing poetry for Poetry Month. In May, we'll have some other. Oh, well, May 4th is Star Wars themed. I hate to say it. I can't there's just too much material for Star Wars. I've got all these sound cues for Star Wars and like it's May the 4th. I don't know. It's just like I'm sorry, but I'm not even I don't know. I haven't even seen a fucking a Star War in I like the prequels. Phantom Menace, that's the best. Or to be honest, my favorite Star Wars is probably Return of the Jedi, actually. That's the one that as a kid I really felt closest to. It's the one that's closest to my own lifetime as far as like the original trilogy. So I feel close to Return of the Jedi. The Muppets are in it. I mean, the other ones, can't really compete with the Muppets and Return of the Jedi. They just kind of filled out the universe. They knew what they were doing a little bit more. But I don't know. They're all great. The originals, the George Lucas ones. Well, I've been seeing all these videos about George Lucas too, and to be honest, I think George Lucas kind of he's underappreciated in a weird way. He's somebody that like what he did was so successful that it's just like such a huge part of our lives. But like, he made American Graffiti. Like that is one of the best fucking movies ever made. Like that is a fucking classic movie and an innovative movie and a sleek movie and like a well-made movie. Like he knew what the fuck he was doing. People like to portray George Lucas like he's just this kind of fucking idiot nerd or something who makes really bad like he has bad taste, Jar Jar Banks. Like he's got really bad creativity or something. He's got bad ideas, I think, is like the criticism of George Lucas is like his ideas are just so cringe or something like Jar Jar. Jesus Christ, he's ruining Star Wars. What the fuck are you doing, George Lucas? How did you think that was a good idea? Sebulba or whatever. Who's the fucking guy in the pawn shop or whatever? Imperial credits. George Lucas, how'd you get away with that one? If you weren't a billionaire, they never would have let that idea fly. Oh, what am I gonna have for dinner? Do I have any other fucking microwave food or to eat? I'll have to have another hash brown. Oh, I have I went to this place, burrito, super burrito in Williamsburg. The interior was really cool. It was kind of like it looked like uh, like a hot dog stand or like a hamburger place you'd go to at like a beach or something. Like it looked like some of those ice cream hot dog places at like Montauk. Like it or like, just it kind of looked like fast food or something from like the 80s. Like those kind of like plank wooden bunch of booths and orange, yellow. It's got an interesting, branding. It's got an Instagrammable kind of ambiance that it transports you to like the late 80s in a way. Feels like being in a fucking Chuck E. Cheese in like 1989 or a roller rink or something. And but the food, I don't know. It was overpriced and it was not good. I'm sorry to say. I did not find it to be a super burrito, really, personally, but let me get it right now. You be a judge. It was okay. I mean, a burrito, it's hard to make it not good. Ugh, I can't believe I broke my fucking monopod again. Bastard. You fucking bastard. I heard people are going to value authenticity more on the internet. I mean, to me, I guess the internet is like, I like using it in like a 90s way, meaning not not like how people use the internet in the 90s, but like just how people like attacked culture, like DIY culture, zine culture, lo-fi culture, indie culture, whatever. The vibe of that sort of Gen X, uh, there was an element of it that felt like a counterculture and like, a new tone of American culture that was like, you know, unique to the time, different than before, but related, you know. Um, and the internet actually offers a lot of ways to do that, to use YouTube like it's like a zine or something. Like I was telling my mom about I follow like all those different bars all around the country. I follow some fucking punk rock bar in Indianapolis because they all have live streams. Like bars in Nashville, bars in LA, bars in Florida. Like they stream their fucking bands that are playing and shit. Like, yeah, I'll fucking check that out. Like, that's what I mean. Like, my mom watched Coachella on fucking YouTube, or like you can literally watch basically any freaking live set. You can see local bands. People will just go out and film an HD video of some bands in Paris, bands in England. There's this one account I follow in Columbus, Ohio. That's like hardcore bands. It's all these fucking people. I think it's at that laundry man, and they're just moshing and shit. I mean, it would be cool to go to all those places, but to me, that's like something that's a unique thing the internet can do. It would have been a lot harder to like get a glimpse into all that stuff and watch full sets of bands, like uh that are like pretty cool local bands and up and coming scenes. Shit like that band Geese, like bands like that are sort of like in these various like YouTube bootlegs. YouTube is like a utopia of bootlegs. And the internet in a weird way kind of like encourages bootlegging or whatever you want to call that, I guess. Crowdsourcing, crowd uh but I think as artists, Not particularly that like. I mean, some people are able to build like a big audience, with like fucking millions of. You could be Mr. Beast. It's crazy that I'm on the same platform as Mr. Beast. No wonder I only have one viewer, and Mr. Beast has like a billion. The world is upside down. Uh, so I don't know. I still think that there's like a texture. I mean, I'm becoming more and more of a relic every day. I realize these young kids today. They've all lost their minds walking around the neighborhood. I feel like it's a bunch of people who moved to San Francisco to be hippies or something. These people moved to Bishop to be, I don't even know what you want to call it. Uh, okay, let me go and get it. I guess that's what the hell did I just? I had all that burrito, the super burrito. It was better today than it was yesterday. I'll say that. It was better out of the refrigerator. Okay, yeah, I said I'd go to 10 o'clock. I'm gonna go to 10 o'clock. Uh, what else do I need to get to here? Do we need to settle on? Yeah, come see me at the pool hall on Friday, May 1st. I'm playing this goddamn pool hall in Bay Ridge. Supposedly, I don't have a fucking guitar. What am I gonna do? I'll have to practice somewhere or play a guitar somewhere to fucking. It's been National Poetry Month, so I've been without guitar. I've been playing music. In May, I'll be getting back to doing other stuff creatively at the show, but it's been Poetry Mania this month. I think we've really gotten a lot of good content across to the viewer, and I don't know. I think it's important to stay connected. I mean, I've been trying to reconnect with poetry stuff. I always feel like I'm trying to reconnect with poetry stuff. I'm always feeling kind of disconnected in a weird way. I don't know. How do I have all this free time and yet never am able to get anything done? Or I don't know. If I can write one poem a day that's like a few pages, it's like, oh, yes, I did it. And if I can do a stream, I guess this is like a false productivity or something. This is a lot of time, and that could, I could 3 hours, right? If I spent that time writing, that would be like a long, right? For most people, that would be like, oh shit, okay. I spent 3 or 4 hours like working today, wood shedding or just like getting work done. I do kind of miss doing that. I do kind of miss like the writer sitting down to fucking your own private sense of like what needs to get done. Because as an artist or as a writer or something, that's like entirely up to you to figure out what your daily objective is, where you're going, what the hell you're going to talk about, what you're going to write about, how long you're going to work, what you're trying to achieve, and it's up to you to provide all of that structure. That's why a lot of people freak out when they get all the free time or something, when they don't have a structured hourly schedule. They just like I still don't know how to do it. I'm basically that's one reason why I do this, because it just feels like an immediate, like, okay, just jump on YouTube and that you're getting something. You're getting some views, you're getting some fucking message out, like maybe the whole 3 hours wasn't fucking on, but there were a few things that were funny or breakthroughs or worth saying, or who knows? Who the fuck knows who tuned in and overlapped with this and what they got out of it and how it ricocheted into something else. So, I mean, it would be nice to have some kind of massive viewership or something, but it's also kind of nice to know that, like, there are singular people out there. It's not like, oh, a million fucking people or 20 million people. It's like, oh yeah, Adam S. or this guy. This guy sees me on the street or something. It's like, okay, it's kind of nicer to have like a personal expression where it's like I'm just doing this insanely into the void. I don't know who the fuck is watching or what the hell they think of it, or they're having an individualized reaction to it. It's not like they're a part of some big audience, and they might not like what I say or certain opinion or how I say it, or maybe something I say sounds judgmental or a little too candid or something, or maybe I'm embarrassing myself, or what is this guy doing? What the fuck? Why would anybody watch this? What the hell is the point of this? Um, I, we're getting, we've gotten so much fucking truth out that no one has listened to, and how many people are commenting directly about book clubs or lectures on tap or Ben Lerner. It's like I'm responding immediately into the moment to so many topics of interest. Maybe that is some kind of like whoring yourself out for uh desperate to just have anybody listen to you. But I don't know. To me, all of these things feel like they're interplaying with our immediate social lives, right? These book clubs, the existence of, like, suddenly Time Out New York is talking about how literary readings are like the hottest night event. Like this is what young people are doing. And to me, it feels that way. It feels like these readings are like the rock and roll of now. Like when I have that thing about KGB is the CBGB, it's like that I do feel like that's kind of true. Like if they talk about New York in the 2020s, they will probably, at least literature, it would be hard to do it without talking about KGB, to be honest. There's been so many series and so many people who have gone through there. It's a similar thing where it's sort of just like the theater of all of these different, not to say that that's on the level of CBGB in any way. I don't necessarily think any of these people have any cultural. That's the weird part about it. It's just like, well, this is what I mean is the internet like normalizes us creating and putting it out to sort of like our micro audience or like our niche audience. And that's okay. That might be the new paradigm, is like everything is like community theater in a way. Maybe some people get to have bigger, you know, um, platforms or whatever, bigger footprint. But certainly, like these people are engaged to go out and read in public, and they're more ready to do it because they're already living these intensely performative lives on the internet where they take themselves seriously as artists, and they're mobilized, and they have agency to make their own work, to make zines, to make, videos, to make little fucking posts. Even the act of making an Instagram post is like artistic, you know, to greater or lesser degree. Putting together a slideshow of pictures and a caption is like a creative act that is on display. Whether you're a normie who's just using it as a social media app, or an artist who, like an influencer who is using it as like their, your videos are on fucking Instagram, or your paintings, or your, clips, or whatever the hell it is. Like if it's your medium. And so, to me, I don't know, like embracing that as a theater of, and so we have all these readings and shit. All these people are just in energized and engaged and entrepreneurial, and they're not afraid, and so I don't know, that's good in a lot of ways. It's weird, it's a weird like illustration, I think, of like wealth inequality. Is like there is a niche of people who really care about literature and writing, and they're becoming hyper vigilant about it and like getting things out there. And then there's 98% of the people who like can't even read, who just like, I don't know. But people move to New York to be writers. And so, especially now, it's almost like there's a consolidation of people who are like moving here to pursue, uh, you know, whatever that is, that life storyline. I'm gonna be a writer in New York, or I'm gonna do readings. I'm gonna, like I'm gonna make that dream come true. But I mean, how much impactful writing is coming out of it? Once again, I think it's all happening on like a local level. I think a lot of this writing is having impact. That's the point of these readings. Is like people in the audience hear it and they go, "Wow, I want to buy the book. That did something to me." And so maybe it's not, it's kind of sad that Ben Lerner is the fucking biggest writer out there, because if you ask me, he's like un he's like ungarnished chicken, or he's just like white chicken. It's like there's no flavor to this. Like Ben Lerner, yeah, it's good. It's like a foundational thing, but like there's no flavor to this. He's like white. He's like he's just like chicken breast. It's like, okay, nice, but there's no sauce in this. There's no flavor. There's no spiciness. And so I don't know. I'm not really necessarily like a Ben Lerner hater per se, but I do think that like I don't know. There's got to be competition. It's like he's the only fucking thing to talk about. It's like, come on. His books are not that good. They're okay. I don't think that they're anything really that special, to be honest. They're good. I'm glad they exist. I read fucking 1004. I read Leaving the Atocha Station. I've read his poetry. Like, good job. But was it like The Great Gatsby? Like, no fucking way. Maybe it is. Maybe they'll be teaching fucking 1004 in English classes. Your kids in the fucking religious isolationist, Christian fashionist techno sleep. I mean, I talk about this stuff because this is the stuff that needs to be talked about. And like, there are fucking podcasts and shit that talk about this, like whatever, one story, or the internet is dead, or, like there's definitely like, that's kind of what these podcasts are, is just like who's got the tea, who's got the kind of like cutting edge takes or whatever, who's got the, Ben Lerner's book talks about ARFID. I don't know if Ashley saw that, but, or is that why Ashley was obsessed? Well, Ashley kept mentioning ARFID like kind of like last fall sometime. Like I think like last summer, fall. ARFID is some kind of, it's some kind of clinical diagnosis, but it basically just says you find certain foods gross and you can't eat them. But they have this clinical, like psychological diagnosis. Like, I have ARFID. I suffer from ARFID syndrome. It's like, No, you just don't like Brussels sprouts or whatever. Like, it's normal. No, I have ARFID. And so Ashley was sort of joking. That was like one of her like go-to kind of punchline. It's like a topical uh quirky phrase, like ARFID. Like it sounds like ARF, 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 and like AFID. And it's like it's like dramatic. It's like that's not real. That's just some you believe somebody invented this is so diva. This is so princess. Well, I have ARFID. Isn't that amazing? So it's in goddamn Ben Lerner's book, ARFID. And I do think to some degree, like that's sort of like Ben Lerner, he does just like spitball a lot of like topical things like that into his book. And I don't know, does it really add up to some kind of like new groundbreaking expression of like the human soul or something? Like, no, it's just super bland and like it kind of revels in its like norm core lameness, but at the same time, he's sort of doing that in a coy way, humble bragging about like different status. Like, oh, I've got a short story in the New Yorker, and I get a huge advance for my book, and I'm eating a baby octopus that's been massaged to death, and blah blah blah. It's like, fuck off, fucking humble bragging douchebag. So one thing I want to do on Instagram is like maybe have people from the open mic do a list of like their favorite books. These are my favorite books, or like influences, things that influence them as an artist. Have people like, Logan X or whoever talk about their favorite books or things that influence, or anybody, anybody from the open mic, comedians, Joe Levy. Shout out Joe Levy. What are Joe Levy's favorite books? His influences as an artist. It'd be interesting to see all of these different people. Maybe I could do like some kind of short. I used to love that shit when I was a kid. They would the Proust questionnaire, and there was this questionnaire that it wasn't TV Guide, but it was like the newspaper TV Guide. They had like this kind of generic questionnaire every week. I loved reading that shit. So that's the kind of stuff that works well on Instagram, I feel like, is just little nuggets of like, okay, favorite books. Here's some recommendations. Here's some. And you're also getting to know a little bit about them as artists, who their influences are. Okay, I see it now. This person likes this. And that's what talk shows and shit do. It's just, to kind of help market these people, help tell their story. How do we tell their story to their audience, and get them over, sell them to, um, oh, here's a joke. I don't know if I can actually say this. This is like, I can't say this. This is like, this will get me canceled if I say this on the internet. I can't say this. No, I can't say that. Um, Oh yeah, the other thing in New York. Well, this is in New York. There's always these things sort of bubbling up. That's part of what New York is like just whatever the newest thing in the culture is, and there's these sort of like run clubs. Oh, suddenly everybody's talking about that. Book clubs. Okay, that's the new thing. Uh, oh, now all of a sudden everything is like a private social club in New York. It's like it costs money to be a member, and you pay, and then they let you in, and you go to this, and then you can get into the fucking like Sovereign House. I think was like a public thing, and then it shut down, and now the new place that the guy's opening is like this private members only club where it's like you have to pay thousands of fucking dollars for the privilege. It's like Soho House or something, for the privilege of like going there, go to their events. You're like a subscriber, you get into anything, and you get to like network with that class of person or whatever. And I mean, that's just indicative of the way that New York is right now. And it's like this hierarchy of, I don't know, I mean, people that just don't really want to fraternize with like us lowly serfs. They want to partition themselves off to the other fucking elite genetic, standouts or whatever, business elite or just snobby kind of. And I think there's some sense that that's like, okay, we're screening people, like this is where uh, you don't have to worry about like uncool people or people that don't pass the vibe check. Or I just think it's so pathetic. These private social clubs are so pathetic. They're gross. Fuck all of that. I think it's so like, why move to New York? Like the whole point is there's like this intermingling of all, like when I see New York and what it means in like my mind's eye, it's like it's a cross section of all different kinds of people, all different races, all the world, all different incomes levels, and they're just all in the same place together. They're all in the same room. And like there's something, it's not always the case that like everybody's on equal ground or whatever, but like in a lot of circumstances, you're just right there with a bunch of fucking, you know, you're right there with everybody. Everybody's kind of part of the milieu. And it's funky and it's eclectic and it's different kinds of talent and intelligence and street smarts. And, it's Fab Five Freddy and Basquiat and Andy Warhol and, whatever the fuck. Vincent Gallo. And Keith Haring, or who's that guy, Glenn O'Brien. It's like it's all different kinds of fucking, or like they all laughed is like that. It's like this weird mix of John Travolta or John Ritter, and then the guy with the curly hair and the mustache, and then Ben Gazzara, and it's just like it's a funky lineup. That's part of what is cool about New York is like just you get thrown into groups with fun kind of mixes of whatever people socioeconomically, or there's some so these private clubs are like the opposite of that. It's like we're a bunch of rich elitist fuck faces. We want to keep out the riffraff. We want to keep out the bridge and tunnel people and the broke ass people from Ohio like me. Okay, I'm gonna do 3 hours and then I'm done after 3 hours. So I've got a minute 45. Uh, 45 coming out Monday. It's the last poetry month. And come out Friday, the pool hall. I'll probably be back on here. Maybe. I don't know. I'm going to do a 24-hour live stream. Maybe I'll do it Tuesday. We'll see. I'm going to try to do an all day stream. Watch my vlog, you bastards. It's 4 hours long. Watch it in installments. Watch it an hour at a time. Or don't. Just put it on. Just put it on while you're doing something else. Put it on while you're working or not. I don't know. I can't even imagine anybody actually watching it. Jesus Christ, what interest could they possibly have? It's the same shit I always do. It's like me walking through Central Park. It's like the sky. It's like the sunset, the street corner, KGB, some open mic acts. Here's me at an open mic talking about jacking off or something. Here's me yelling at the audience. I was in this cafe yesterday and I was like talking and I'm like, people. So this girl came over and she's like, yeah, and I knew it before I went in. I'm like, "This is kind of a laptop place. This is not really." She's like, "Could you kinda keep it down a little bit because it's like I can kinda hear you all the way over there." And we were like, "Okay, fine, whatever." It's like I'm loud. I don't know. I'm a yelling, screaming, raving, main lunatic. So thank you for watching, everybody. Um, we're still alive. Ceasefire. We're still in the ceasefire, people. So So far, so good. Uh, it's not totally all politics and all apocalypse. It's kind of chilled out a little bit. But even though, who knows? There's plenty of things to be afraid of, to be worried about. Let's just say that. So, anyway, thank you for watching, and back into the lonely world of isolation and solitude, everybody. Solo. Uh, the offline world. I think I have anxiety about being offline. What do you call that? What pathology is that? I'm afraid of not being online. I'm afraid of going offline. That's got to be more and more people. I think are suffering from that. I don't know how all these kids are like turning their back on their phones. It's like, why? Really? You like reading better than this? Really? You like reading books better than TikTok? To me, that's performative because I love reading, and TikTok and YouTube are better than a lot of, it's like that Franco Hero line, right? The movies are better than almost all of American poetry except Whitman and Dickinson, and like I forget the exact line, of course, I'm butchering it. But Franco Harris's line about the movies and how, they're just better. They're better than all of poetry except like a few things. That's how I feel about TikTok and and YouTube. I'm sorry. If fucking uh Aria Aber was as good as fucking Professor Zhang. I don't know, maybe she's. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But if Ben Lerner was as good as Professor Zhang. Professor Zhang studied with Gay Talese. I mean, that's kind of like a literary apprenticeship. Oops. I do consider him one of the new kind of, I don't know, orator, composer, thinkers. I just think you can do both. It doesn't hurt to be in this space. Well, maybe it does hurt. Apparently, our brains are all like turning to fucking applesauce. Apparently, it is like actively making us dumb. Like literally, you can see it like on a fucking scan how your brain is like deteriorating just from like scrolling all day. Like, how the fuck is that possible? My brain collapsed from too much fucking AI slop, from too many Instagram reels, Snapchat, from too many Snapchats. So I guess it's just a way of trying to keep your brain fucking muscle strong. I guess my brain muscle is just flabby. I'm flabby everywhere. My brain is flabby, my body's flabby, everything's flabby. How am I gonna get back in shape? Gotta dig deep. There comes a point in every man's life. I'll leave you with this. There comes a point in every man's life where you gotta dig deep, and you gotta find something deep in yourself to keep you going. And I don't know. I'm ready to readjust to having autonomy over my own activities. Oh, now I'm gonna have two people go. No, I gotta go. I gotta go. Thank you guys for watching. Go back to the beginning. Watch it from the beginning. I can't entertain anybody else. I've been doing it 3. Thank you for watching, everybody. Good luck. Good night. Godspeed. Stay safe. Stay peaceful. Stay out of the war. Just keep protesting, people.